Alafia, aho, ase, namaste, and thank you for watching Shadow of Wolves with blessings to all of you. Some of you have asked for it, some of you have requested this video. What is spiritual mounting? We're going to start off in terms of talking about spiritual mounting, and then let's move on to the basic information for Orisha mounting, for those who are crowned in Orisha faith, and for the mounting of the law. So let's talk about spiritual mounting. Some people say possession. What does that mean? When someone is in a spiritual mass, or they are in a spiritual sector where there are drums, the person who is walking with their spirit guide or different spirits that are walking with them, it can even be an ancestor, they tend to mount, they tend to talk through the individual. What is the evidence of spiritual mounting, and how do you know if that spirit is of light or that spirit needs light? Let's get into this. Now, spiritual mounting is also related to the person who has the guidance or who has spent many, many years under their spiritual leaders or godparents. Spiritual mounting, which means they use the term possession, and I'm only using that, and it will go into the difference because that is the term that most people understand. Good spirits and spirits of light are going to come down and give evidence. They're going to not just tell you, oh, wow, I knew this, or I knew that, or what I need to know, or no, good spirits of light will also never, ever put you in embarrassment. They'll never put physical harm on your body. They'll never do anything inappropriate that will cause you to feel uncomfortable. If you have been in error in this carnal world, means the world that we live in flesh and bones, and you have done something, a spirit of light will talk to you confidentially and tell you what it is that you have done wrong and how you need to fix it. Now, say for example, if you have something negative in your house, or a bad spirit, or something that's walking with you or your family, and that spirit through that person who is speaking through their possession, they will tell you how to rectify the situation. Good spirits always come with a remedy. Now, say for example, some of you are from France, some of you are from Canada, some of you are from the United States, Puerto Rico, Cuba, Brazil, Guyana, Trinidad, Barbados. Your spirits, of course, are going to speak the language that your soul is used to. So I meet so many people who are gifted, and I need you to have confidence in yourself. Now let's get into that. Not everyone is meant to have spiritual, they're not meant to be mounting, okay? Which means that the spirit comes through them, not all the time. A spirit that is of light can be sitting there and talking to you, and that person is seeing evidence. They are clairvoyants. They are ones who will talk to you and say, this is going on and this is what you need to do. Now, we can't be too sensitive because we also have to be open to some criticism, but never of personal affairs, never of embarrassment, never of things that our children are going through or that you're going through. It could be, if it has something to do with your health, if it has something to do with whatever's in your house, a spirit of light is going to give evidence of that. And then they will rectify the situation by giving you a remedy that they can clean you right there, or they will have you do yourself. This takes a lot of skill and practice, okay? That's spiritual mounting. Spiritual mounting is also seen when there are what we call prayer masses. For those who speak English, some say mesa blanca, which is the white table, where there are a few spiritualists that are there and sitting there to also help that person who is either mounting that spirit, and that spirit will come down and talk to you. These are spirit guides of light. Bad spirits and someone who has a lower energy spirit are going to be destructive, negative, put their hands on you, say really horrible things. That spirit needs to get out right away. Okay, so when you're doing masses and you're doing prayer circles, which is different in blessings to seances, when you're doing prayer circles, those prayer circles are also very well protected through everybody in that house because we're doing prayers and so forth. So a spirit with a lot of light is such a blessing because they are given the transition through the permission of God to come through and to talk to you. Sometimes they may come off as a Francisca, a Madama, a Francisco, a gypsy, or even someone's family member or someone that they were really close to, or even an indigenous person and so forth. They can even be in the form people think witch. Witch is not always bad, okay? That is a blessing of light that comes and to give you good deliverances of messages. So they get permission from God to come down and talk to you. So why is it that when they come down, some use Florida water, some use Canalga water, it's different waters and so forth. Why? Because they have to pull the earthly vessels, they have to have the earthly drinks of coffee and so forth to be able to be earthbound to talk to you. When that person is out of the mass and they have gathered themselves together, a good spirit is still going to make them feel good. They're not going to be like, you know, that's a good spirit, because they also help to clean the person that is mounting to clean others. Now let's go into when there's a drum, and it's a spiritual drum, and some call this the drum of fiesta, or it could be music and they're playing, and the spirit will come down and talk to you, whether they are in their native tongue of Spanish, Creole, or even patois, or even whichever language. We need to respect the language of the person being mounted, because our syntax and our throat and everything is connected to our chakras, and this is connected to our crown chakra. So this is very important. Spiritual possessions can very well also happen when a person is very skilled in readings, when they're reading you and they have things to say. Once again, not everybody is made to mount a spirit or a spirit guide. Many people have clarification in just being able to tell you messages that you need to hear, and private messages that others don't need to hear. Let's go on. When it comes to the blessing and the energy of our beautiful 21 divisions, and that of Sanse and that of Voodoo, those different branches, and blessing to my commission of Sanse as a Sansista, and blessings to my commission of 21 divisions as a Mambo, and blessings to all those that are out there. When the energy of any one of the 21 divisions, some people say nations, okay? 21 divisions come down and they bring a message. You know how that particular law comes down, because even though we're framed within our spiritual energy, the law is also a high elevated form, as above and so below. Just as we have Elegua for Orisha, and then we have Dombala, okay, as a high and hot rada, you will know who is being possessed with who in terms of, let's speak about the law. Because why? Different energies will go with that, what we call caballo. So say, for example, a Sansista is coming down with Anais Appear. Well, one Anais Appear that you may see in a particular or societe may have laughing and, you know, and they're fan and they're so happy. And then you have another one that is Petois, that is very powerful and fiery, and she may come down different. There is a similarity so that we know the difference. Those who are Sansistas and have their initiation, as this is very important to have initiation in order to mount the law, they will show you, Papa Candelo, whoever it is, they will show you and tell you what they need, and they do have different services. Let's continue on. Those even, in blessings to all the Hogans, and blessing, that child of either, whether it's Gede, Papa Candelo, Anaïs Pierre, or Gumba, they still have a similar way of how they are coming down to talk to you, and we know how to service them, but they must have the initiation for that evidence to come down. And they will talk to you when we are doing a drum. There is a difference. And if you might say, oh, one Gede, I saw him pouring rum all over himself, and the other one drinks. Yeah, there's different commissions of the Gede. There's different commission of Baron Cimetière, Baron Criminal, and so forth. So with blessing, that is the energy of the law with blessing. Now let's go into the energy of Orisha. Now, when someone is crowned in Orisha faith, they went through the different rites of passages, speaking very quickly and doing the ebomet and so forth. So say, for example, a child of Ochun, that crowned individual who went through their rites of passage in being crowned in Orisha faith, okay? That child of Ochun will also have their parent, whether it's Eligua or Chango, but the main one that will mount them will come down. And some don't have the Ache to speak, which is just fine, but they use a certain body language to be able to clean you, take care of you. And there's always someone there, whether it's their elder, their godchild, another elder, that will be able to translate the messages to you. Now, those who are mounted with Orisha and they have the Ache to speak, if you don't understand, because some people speak Spanish, some also speak in Yoruba tongue, some speak English. We now, with the blessing, also have those who are mounted with Orisha from Japan and so forth. They will come down and someone will translate and give you the message. How do you know the importance of when the Orisha is there? The Orisha is of pure light and energy of Olofi and Olodumare. They will never hurt you. They will never put you down in front of people. They will give you the message that you need to know, whether it's privately or publicly, and they will also give you the remedy. I've even seen the beauty of Orisha where they have came down and they have spoken Oduns to the individual and they have told them the advices that they need to know. Okay, this is the beauty of Orisha. The beauty of Orisha. Orisha is so beautiful. Now let's quickly go into Palo. There is a drumming that they call cajon, and that drumming is really, really, really beautiful. This cajon is sent when they're singing and they're playing the drum. Those messages are sent to Zambi. Some may say, oh, who is that? Well, that's a form of the English term God. When the Egun comes down, they will also give messages to you. They do come down all differently. The Orisha is going to come down in their way. So, for example, a child of Chango, that person, that child of Chango crowned, may be eating what we call amala. It's very hot. When the Egun comes down, they come down in a fashion that's a little bit different. It could be a little bit more rough, but it's absolutely beautiful. The sounds of the drum, even the music for spiritualism, even for Sanse, the sounds of the music, and blessing to the beautiful voices, even of Bembecito and all of those, and blessings to my goddaughter around the world. Those songs and the sounds of the drum, and blessings to my mambo, their voice is so beautiful that it will call that particular energy. So even it's important to how we sing and the order of the songs. So for spiritualism, they sing and they sing to the Santissimo, and they sing for God, and they sing for the spirits and so forth. When it comes to the law, they sing for San Nicolas. Papa Legba has to open the road and so forth. Orisha, El Legua, Oguna, Chosi, and so forth. There is always a form and a matter of structure and respect. Never ever feel like you have to force yourself to be mounted. Never feel like you have to do that. You can give evidence in a prayer mass that is just as beautiful or even more helpful to the individual. Yes, there are people in spiritual masses, and going back to that, those people can even sometimes pull, with all respect, they have a gift, pull a spirit from another person, and that person's spirit will talk to that individual. There are people that even are able to pick up bad spirits and mount that bad spirit so that bad spirit can be taken out the correct way. The correct way is also based on your culture. This is also very important, and you need to respect your culture. This is why we need the guidance of elders and godparents, and then you fly your wings and start doing your stuff on your own. But if you have questions, always respect your house. Even this information, my godchildren are at my beck and call. They could text me, they could call me. They know, but you need to respect your spiritual house, your godparent, and spiritual leaders. This is important. So do know there's a different way, but we all have blessing. We don't need to see something crazy like, oh, Papa Candelo came down and he took 2 candles and he stuck them in his ears and we watched his head blow up and come back. We're not talking about superheroes. These different energies are good energy that is not masked, because if anybody's faking it, they will get punished in very, very different ways. So those different energies of that person who is mounting are not superheroes to eat glass or to prove things to you. They're going to be easy on the body. Some are a little bit rougher in the body, and that caballo, once again, can handle it. Caballo means the one who mounts like a horse, especially that term is used with law. So let's also talk about the difference with possession. Some people get possessed, man, and this is not good. If this happens where the person is jerking back and forth and they're suffering, there needs to be leaders and elders there to help them to take that possession out. Possessions are not normal. Those are bad entities that have found a weak frame within your aura, within your chakras, where they have jumped in and they have caused possession. So what do? Last but not least, many of us tie our stomach and we close our solar plexus with a cord. So we can choose, especially when I'm going somewhere, I can choose. Sometimes I have no control because it just comes, but I know that I present light with all humble respect and blessing. We can choose to say, I'm not going to get possessed at this, mounted at this party. I'm not going to do it because I don't have anybody with me or there's nobody here. So I need to control that. We need to be able to control it. But sometimes the spiritual energy is so powerful, and you know it's of light. Some people, I've seen people even getting mounted with Shango, Agayu. They come through, and sometimes they don't want to. Now let's go into that. When someone is possessed with a bad spirit, you'll notice they start jerking back and forth. They look like they're suffering, and then it stays too long. This is why skilled practitioners need to be around, and you need to help that person, okay? When somebody is being mounted, whether it's through the law, through voodoo, 21 division, or Sansei, that energy is so light and so powerful. It doesn't matter if it's Baron, Gede, Santa Marta, Belie Bekan. That energy is not going to make that person feel really sick where they're going to be knocked out. That does not exist. There's certain law that come down that don't stay. Like Metreseli does not stay that long unless somebody really... So what is important is even someone who is mounted with, say, for example, on the Orisha side, at a tambor, a Wido, or an Anya with Oya, that person's energy, if that particular Orisha stayed down for a while, then you notice that they're a little bit tired. If they're falling dead asleep, that is really, really strong. They usually get knocked out for a few days at their house, but the energy is so beautiful and so blessed that they are being cleansed. It's according to how long spirit stays down when it comes to masses. readings sometimes too, spiritual drummings, fiestas. Loa stays down. I watch The Power of Papa Candelo Serife. I watch Papa Candelo come down, and then the caballo is good. That energy, he's an elevated Loa, so it's so pure. The person still has energy. I've watched Orisha come down, and they are absolutely beautiful. They're not going to be knocked out and all messed up. That's bad energy. The energy of the light ones, yeah, we feel it after. In the next day, 2 days, but you know when you have had good spiritual possession, and don't force yourself to do it. If it comes and if it's in your etat to do it and not to be ashamed of that particular Orisha, don't be ashamed. Don't be like, oh my God, what are people going to think? They're going to think this. Man, just let it go. If it's in you, especially if it's in your etat, let it go. Enjoy yourself. It's the messages that are sent to give the people, to bless them. Alafia, aho, I say namaste, and thank you for watching Shadow of Wolves.